Hello, students. We are looking at how we could design a little toy boat type thing here. And then we're going to be able to stretch like cellophane or some sort of waterproof material over the surface of this small little boat here. And we can put a sail on there or make it some other type of boat if you want. But this is kind of the basic hull design, just so the bottom of the boat, the part that keeps the water out, that's the hull. And we're going to look at just how to get started on this. So these are all the parts that we're going to actually have for laser cutting. So we have all these to be our normal thicknesses that we usually do with the laser. We want to start off by making the actual design of what we really want it to look like. So this is what we're hoping for. That's what we're going to design right now in this first part of this video here. So once we have that, we can then use that shape to get all the other pieces that kind of fit in there. And some pieces will kind of hang out like this. In real life on boats too, you have to kind of sand things back and kind of clean it all up too. So here we have a brand new, fresh workspace here, and we are going to get started here. We're going to say new sketch, and we're going to say on this right surface here. And so this, we're going to start off by designing the rear of the boat, where you'd like hook the motor on, or for example, we call that the transom. So we're going to design the transom right now, the back of the boat, and we're going to start off by drawing half of it so that we can do some mirror imaging here. It's going to really help us out if we can start the top center of the back of the boat there, be right there, so that in the origin there, and that's going to allow us to use these surfaces to draw the rest of our boat there. So that's going to be the center line. I'm going to line that up now so we have a nice view of the back there. And we're going to hide these other things so we don't have to look at all that. And we're going to say, that's that there, and we're going to put some dimensions on this. We'll do the dimensioning in a second here. Let's put a spline on there, and we're going to just put a nice, simple shape there. It's important that we don't have kind of this kind of bubble going downwards here. So with this little handle, we can pull it up here, and what we can actually do is make sure that this line is horizontal here. So if I push horizontal from that list, it's going to force that to be horizontal there. We'll kind of move things around. We don't want this to be like higher in the center point there. And you can play around with this. You can always come back to this and alter this more later, something like that. We don't want the boat to be too much of a pointy bottom there. It's not going to work very well for the style of how we're going to make this. So kind of keep it kind of generic shape like that. And let's mirror image this also before we put some dimensions on there. And all right, now it's dimension time. Let's put some measurements on there. We'll say the whole thing, and it's probably like 2.5 inches wide, might be about a good size. And maybe I'll aim for 3/4 of an inch this time. Those are rough numbers. Something like that will be pretty good. All right, and so now we're going to finish that sketch. Now we're going to draw the profile from the side. So this is going to be like the length of the boat. So let's see since we lined up our surfaces there, those planes, we're going to start a new sketch there. That's going to be right on the center, and we're going to use that surface this time. We'll hide those again. And for the bottom of the boat, we're going to actually make it pretty straight for most of the time, pretty flat and straight like so. And then we can do the same thing for the top. We'll make that go out even further though. And then in that in-between area, what I recommend using is the spline tool. And we're just going to make a straight line for now. But we can take these handles, and again, we're going to make this one horizontal. So if I push horizontal there, that lines that up. And now you can really play around with this and get the shape you want just by moving these two things here. So I'm going to do that. And then, well, let's put a dimension on here before we go too far. Let's say I want to do like 6.5. Oop, that was a 3.5. 6.5 maybe. That might be too big. Like 4.5. That looks more appropriate for how wide this thing is, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, you can play around with this and get something you like. Don't make it too big or it won't fit in the laser cutter. And then we can play around with that. It's important that, again, like I was mentioning earlier, we don't want this to have like a dip here. We want it to be nice and we call it tangent, so that it's a nice smooth curve transitioning from this line to this line. And right now it's not filling in gray like this one yet. We need a one more line here, because that one line there wasn't really part of our drawing yet. Now it's filled in gray. We are looking good so far. And so basically we're going to repeat this one more time and kind of get the top profile of the boat of what we are looking for here. So we're going to say sketch on the top this time. I want to change our view. And so this time we are going to say, let's use that and that. So we got those lines in there. Now we're going to say spline again. And we're going to repeat the same thing as before, doing just 2 points and then pushing escape to cancel that out. So we stop drawing that line. And then we're going to just use those handles again to alter the shape of the boat. This might seem weird, but it's going to cause some problems later if we don't do it this way. So I pushed this line and I select horizontal this time. And now I can just stretch that out to kind of make it longer and give it a more, shape I want there. And, we want our boat to be pretty steady. If you want your boat pretty narrow and skinny, like this, for example, it might look faster, but your boat will want to tip over a lot easier. Just be aware of that. And so we have a nice shape like that. That looks pretty good. Now we're going to mirror that to the other side. And we're going to mirror this line there because that's not really part of our drawing yet. And bingo, we got it. Now it's all turned gray. That is good. Gray is good. And now we kind of have like a sketch to define all these. And we can always go back and change this if we don't like the shape we're about to get here. But now we are going to make it 3D. So we're going to use this tool called Loft, which most of us haven't used before. And this kind of creates a surface between sets of lines, essentially. Or creates a 3D shape between surfaces. So all we have to do is select this surface and imagine kind of stretching something all the way over to this surface. And look at that. We got a nice shape there. And we need to say path, though. See how it's not following our line? The path we want to follow is this line. Ooh, guides. Did I do that wrong? There we go. It's guides. My apologies there. So now we have a guide there that's making it follow that line. So it kind of follows that curve out there. And we officially have half a boat. And then we got a quick mirroring operation. Mirror. And we say entities to mirror is that surface. The mirror plane is that surface right there. And we want to add that to the other piece. Looks good. All right. And now we officially have the hull of a boat. Pretty sweet. So the next steps you'll see in the next video will show you how to create this into a design that can be laser cut. If you're not liking the design of your boat right now, feel free to come back here and alter things. If you want this to be a little bit taller, you can make that taller. Play around with this, make that a little wider there maybe. And maybe I like that a little bit better now. It's really up to you. Have some fun with this. And you could even, just got an idea here, if you wanted your design to kind of have a little bit more of a difference in the front of the boat there, so it kind of sticks up like that. Anyway, play around with that, have some fun. I will see you soon in the next video. Bye-bye.